Hello, everybody. Welcome to Morning Night Live. Hey, just want a quick thank you to those of you who were here yesterday. A lot of you sent wishes. If you didn't know, if you're just here, my father-in-law passed away yesterday, so I had to cut the show short. And I might get into that at the end of the show. But hey, let's get into today's show by playing that intro. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Stop the music. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, Marty, a.k.a. Dawg Knight. And today, I didn't even remember this yesterday, that I didn't have any background music. So I remembered, and so I am going to kick some background music today as soon as I can get this thing dialed in here. And are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah. All right. A little funk for your listening pleasure. Let me know if that is a little too loud. It looks like the level's right, but I can never tell. It looks about right to me, so we might just leave it that way. Good morning, everybody. And people are going to start to roll in, it looks like. You got a few people here, so let's just say hi to who's here. Now, I know Necrosol was here earlier, before I actually got on, but it was kind of like 3 hours ago. Because I just happened to look on... I don't know what made me look at my stream, but good. Necrosol, I'm going to give you a bell just because you tweeted out the show 3 hours ago, which is awesome. But actually, Rolling Bear, I'm going to let you have the honor of the actual bell. So there's that too. We got them both going. You're both going to get a bell today. Thank you for doing that this morning. Also, good morning to Maniac Man, Ramen Noodles, Diesel Dave, Grillin' Pirate Pete, and whoever it is that's lurking in the background. I know you're there. I'm happy you're here. So, I got to think yesterday. We had a lot of time to think yesterday. I don't know if you ever. This is my first experience. Not my first experience, but first experience with having an older relative die where I was there. My father-in-law was in a nursing home, and he's been in hospice for about 2 weeks now. And in fact, it's funny because the other day he was there was a point where he was in and out of consciousness, and I had a good chuckle because I went to go visit him, and he was kind of sleeping, but then he woke up and he kind of looking at me, and I'm talking to him, but I'm not sure if he's actually hearing everything I'm saying because I couldn't tell if he was fully awake. And so I told him that joke that I told you all the other day about the funeral procession. And at the end of the joke, he's kind of just staring at me the whole time. And I'm not sure if it's all clicking in. And all of a sudden, he just starts laughing, just like uncontrollably laughing. He's like, I just see a belly laugh coming out of him, and I'm like, okay, he heard what I said, he understood everything I said, and then he's laughing there, and then my wife comes back into the room, and he kind of looks at her and looks at me, and he starts laughing again, and she says, "What is going on here?" And he he just got a good chuckle out of the joke. But yesterday, I think part of the thing is when we would visit him. Now, we had this party for him a couple weeks ago, and a lot of his friends and relatives, and some of his friends from high school. And he was 81 years old. And some of his friends from high school came to this party at the nursing home, and a lot of people got to go up and see him. But I think part of the thing that was going on is when we were going to visit him, we were always kind of sad. It's kind of we always had, especially my wife, she always had this concern. Look, she's always trying to do things for him and, trying to make sure that he's comfortable and all this stuff. But eventually one of the hospice nurses said to my wife, she said, I know it's tough because you come in here and you have tears and stuff, and he sees the tears, but he's also got to know that it's okay, that you're okay, that, that he can let go. Because we were just telling him it was okay to let go, but never really told him that we were okay. And so yesterday, my wife was went to visit him. She works right across the street because she's actually the director of an assisted living facility, and it's a complex, and the nursing home just happens to be right across the street, and they're all the same company basically. So she went across the street, just to visit him before she went into work yesterday morning, and she basically, he actually was, he was awake, and she said she went in the room and she was just talking to him, and she said, Dad, I'm okay. I'm okay. We're okay. Just wanted to let you know that. And she went across the street to get something, or went to get something back at work. And then she was going to come back later. And then that's when she got the call. And then that's when I got the call and had to leave the show yesterday. So, but it was kind of weird. I went down there immediately after I, closed down my computer. And we waited for the people at the funeral home to come take him. And we're just there in the room. And he's there. And we're just kind of weird sitting in the room with, someone who's passed away. But we did all our arrangements, and that was that. He was a good dude. He was a guy who treated me like a son from day one. From the day that I met him, he always treated me very well. He was great to his grandkids. My sister and her brother both have my brother and sister-in-law, and we both have 2 kids, each family 2 kids. He was great to the grandkids, and it made up because he wasn't perfect when they were growing up, but he completely made up for it when they were with his grandkids, and he was a great father-in-law. So Thomas Dale Johnson, rest in peace, sir. All right, let's get into the show today, because I don't want to be somber the whole day. So let's get into the show. So today my title is about what happened to Russia. We spent 2.5 years talking about Russia, and clearly the Democrats have moved on to seemingly 2 completely different strategies. Now that really, I thought for sure that they were going to try to keep talking about Russia. Now Jerry Nadler, in the House of Representatives, I think he's in the Oversight Committee. He seems hell-bent on pushing the obstruction of justice narrative, on something that didn't really happen. But the Democrats have completely moved on to something else, and we all know what it is. All they want to talk about now is racism and or white supremacy. Now there's another theme that there seems to be creeping in, and I'm not sure how this is going to play out. But they also, the one thing that Democrats are going to have the hardest time fighting against with the president is the economy. And so what's happening is you kind of notice all of a sudden, because they didn't want to talk about the economy at all. But I noticed this the other day when there was a drop in the stock market one day, and we saw this happen. And all of a sudden, the Democrats and the Never Trumpers were all on this recession kick. Like, it's going to be a recession. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a recession. The Trump recession, they kept saying. And I'm thinking about that. I'm like, are you kidding? One day drop in the stock market, you're talking about recession? But then I thought about it. I'm like, oh, I get it now. The reason they want to talk about recession is because they want people to think we're in a recession. So, like the Never Trumpers, David Frum, who I've never really understood the man, but his big thing was like, we've had this great Obama economy, and now because of Trump, we're in a severe recession. What? Now, David Frum, of all people, should know the definition of recession, and that's when you have two negative growth quarters in a row, which we haven't. We've been far and above the growth at any time during the Obama administration, averaging 2.5%. Sometimes have been above 3%, depending on the month to month, and that's actually a good solid 2.5% growth. If you know anything about economics, is a nice, strong, stable level of growth. I mean, you don't want too high growth. I mean, when you start getting a growth that's averaging 5 and 6, 7%, that is not necessarily good. Even though it's great temporarily, you're bound to have a recession after that, great amounts of growth. But we have a good, 2.5%, 3%. That'd be great. Yeah, the Dow's up 214. In fact, the Dow's recovered the entire 800 that it was down that one day. And again, when you're at 27 or 76,000, whatever the Dow's at right now, that's a very small percentage. Now had you 20 years ago, if you had an 800 point drop in the Dow, you'd be like, holy shit. Oh man. But anyway, So the two strategies, one, they want to talk about nothing. They want to talk about racism and white supremacy constantly. But those people are getting tired of those. People are not listening. The viewers at CNN and MSNBC, their viewership is way down, even though that's all they talk about. So now they also want to throw in this recession word. And so that's the strategy. But what I want to talk about today, and what they definitely don't want to talk about, is Russia. Now, I say Russia because, hey, remember they wanted to talk about Russia for 2.5 years, right? Until Robert Mueller let them down. But now, I think that's the last thing they want to talk about, because if you talk about Russia, now you have to talk about how the Russia probe came about. And we're about to find out some things about how that came about, because there's an Inspector General report that's due to come out sometime in September. I'm going to guess sometime around mid-September. We're going to get an Inspector General report that is examining how all of those things were investigated. Okay, and because obviously they had this big long investigation where they came up with no evidence that there was any collusion, which really they mean conspiracy, but because there's no such thing as collusion in the law. And this and also what's going to happen is probably in this Inspector General report, there's a very, very, very good chance that we're going to start seeing, what should I say this? We're going to see recommendations for prosecution. Okay, some of the people involved in these cases were. Now, is this guaranteed? No, not guaranteed. But it seems, based on the information I've been listening to and paying attention to, and not everyone's paying attention to this that hard, but I am, and I listen to a lot of different people. I listen to a lot of different perspectives. But the people doing the heavy lifting this are finding out a lot of things that probably weren't all that kosher. So let's get into one of these things. Now let's talk about Concord. Concord is one of the companies that the Mueller investigation had this big dog and pony show indictment day. Okay, remember Rod Rosenstein came out and he was going to make this big announcement by the Justice Department. We are going to prosecute some Russians. They wanted to prosecute some Russians. Oh, hello, Captain Reynolds. Getting ready to leave for work, so I'm just dropping by to say hello and hit the like button. Thank you very much, Captain Brambles. Good morning, Longfish. Also, good morning, Tyler F. And I think I caught everybody so far. That's been in the chat. So one of these firms is actually fighting back, because you thought, when Rosenstein came out and said, okay, we're going to indict these 2 Russian companies, and we're also indicting this handful of Russian generals, which you knew from the second they said they're indicting some Russian generals that was a dog and pony show, because they know damn well that not a single Russian military or intelligence official is going to come over to the United States to be to be put on trial. That ain't happening. Okay, so it turned out something that they can just say, okay, we're doing something, and also the problem is they don't have to prove anything for the Mueller report. All they have to do is say, hey, we're indicting these people, and in the press, it was suddenly all true. Suddenly, the Russians hacked the DNC because they were indicting them. Oh, wait a minute. Well, what about innocent until proven guilty? Oh, no. We're putting in the report. Well, they got in trouble for that. So let's go. Actually, let me go back in time first. Let's go back in time, because remember when Robert Mueller came out? All of a sudden, Robert Mueller was going to have a press conference. Okay, this is before he had the testimony before the joint House committees. And all of a sudden, Robert Mueller comes out and has a press conference, talking something. What did his press conference? Let me see if this is. Let me find that, because Robert Mueller press conference. Here we go. What was the date on that? It was July. It was right after this thing happened with the judge. Okay. So anyway, well, here let me go back to this. Let's do this one first, because this one's just as important. Let me see if it fits on the screen. Yeah, it fits on the screen. So on July 9th, here's the article. Judge sides with indicted Russian firm on Mueller report's harm. Okay, because the Mueller report, well, here, let's just go through it. Though critical of newly released information not contained in the indictment, a federal judge said that she will not impose sanctions in the criminal case over 2016 election meddling by Russia. Wonder why that is. U.S. District Judge Dabney Frederick unsealed her July 1st ruling on Monday night, agreeing with attorneys for Concord Management and Consulting that the special counsel Robert Mueller's mention of the case in his long-awaited report could unfairly prejudice a jury. Owned by Russian oligarch Yevgeny Prigozhin, something like that, Concord is the only defendant named in the February 2018 indictment to appear in court. The company will go to trial in Washington on charges that it funded the Internet Research Agency's campaign of online trolls in support of President Donald Trump's election. Alleged allegations that Mueller expanded upon in the expansive report he turned over earlier this year to Attorney General William Barr. For defense attorney Eric Dublier and Reed Smith, the twin actions of Mueller's report and Barr's press conference about it serves as a sword to prejudice Concord and a shield to hide discovery. Tensions between the parties, particularly over the ethics of discovery, has long dominated the case. Concord's attorneys are barred by a protective order from sharing information with the company's officers or employees in Russia. Prosecutors argue that the order is crucial to national security. How convenient. It limits limiting discovery in something you're charged with. Though Frederick said she agreed that Mueller and Barr's statements crossed the line, she found neither sanctions nor an order of contempt were warranted since the officials had not acted in bad faith. So here's what's happening. So in the Mueller report, it states, and also in prior press conferences, it states definitively that these companies did what they're being accused of. And yet, this is before they've ever gone to court, before they've ever even been able to get proper discovery on the allegations being made against them. And, this company is, I think their claim is, well, no, we were working with the Russians. We're just trying to make a buck because they're a clickbait farm. So the court remains confident that any prejudice can and will be cured through the passage of time, however you say that, and jury instructions, the opinion states. Rule 57.7 prohibits lawyers from expressing opinion that would prejudice a case, but Frederick emphasized that a violation of a standing court rule does not involve the same affront to the court's authority as would a violation of a specific court order directing a party to take or refrain from a particular action. Now, what happened here, they also chastised Mueller, and the next day he came out and had to have a press conference where he made sure that he made clear that the allegations against the Russian firms they're innocent until proven guilty. And it's funny because when they went before Congress and when Mueller really didn't know what the hell he was talking about as regards to the report that was written, more than a few times when he was being questioned by Democrats, he was saying, he used very careful language. He was saying that, these are alleged, he kept using the word alleged. They allegedly did this. They allegedly did that because they haven't been in court. They haven't proved anything. And so that kind of messes things up. Well, so now this is from yesterday. Indicted firm says Mueller meddling accusations, at best misleading, at worst demonstrably false. So here's from the Russian consulting firm accused of bankrolling social media meddling in the 2016. Now this is an article about what they actually spent. Okay, because the Mueller investigation, and the lawsuit is saying that millions and millions of dollars were spent on meddling in the election, over this period of time. Well, there's a little wordplay involved there. So here it is. The Russian consulting firm accused of bankrolling social media meddling in the 2016 presidential election spent less than $5,000 on candidate ads and rallies that would be subject to government auditing, the company argues in a court filing. Now, this is their argument. I'm not saying that this is true either, but this is what they're filing in their motion. The motion from Concord Management Consulting, LLC, challenges the federal government's assertion that it spent huge sums of Russian money on social media aimed at disrupting the American political process. Concord is charged with failing to file with the Federal Election Commission. The firm says some of the online ads listed as an indictment brought by special counsel Robert Mueller cost less than $10 each, added up to $2,930. Conjured up rallies cost another $1,833 in payroll. Now, I'm just telling you, if I could win an election by spending roughly $4,700, oh boy, I'm hiring that firm, man. If they're that good and that targeted. Anyway, the 2018 indictment accuses Concord of funding the Internet Research Agency. So that is the Russian troll farm in St. Petersburg that bought the internet ads, did social media spoofing, and set up rallies against candidate Hillary Clinton and for Donald Trump. Now, that's an interesting way to put it, because they didn't really set up rallies against Hillary Clinton or for Donald Trump. They did some weird things. And again, most of their spending happened after the election. Anyway, the allegation in the indictment claiming that IRA spends thousands of dollars each month to purchase advertisements is at best misleading and at worst demonstrably false, because the discovery indicates that many of the advertisements took place after the 2016 presidential election and did not involve any clearly identifiable candidate. Concord attorney Eric A. Dublier argued in a Monday filing in U.S. District Court. We should go through some of the stupid ads too. In its filing, Concord cited cost figures based on evidence from U.S. prosecutors. So he's using their own. Okay, the cost figures are based on evidence from U.S. prosecutors, so he's using their evidence. The indictment listed ads that were required to be reported in campaign finance reports to the FEC. The filing's main arguments has to do with the identities of the defendants. It claims the government refuses to say which company employees violated FEC laws. Only one Concord employee is listed. Its head, Yevgeny Prigozhin, a food service mogul close to Russian President Vladimir Putin. This means that the responsible conspirator would have had to know that that millions of rubles, equating to hundreds of thousands of dollars of Concord's money allegedly spent by IRA, at worst, approximately $2,900 were spent for advertisements and $1,800 were spent for rallies that the FEC could possibly conclude were independent expenditures for express advocacy. Again, so that's $4,700. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. I know I know this is boring. Oh well. So anyway, what's happening here? They didn't spend as much money as the report says. So, all right, let's move on here. Other things happening on this. Oh, here's the other thing that the Democrats really don't want to talk about. It's going to be interesting. Former U.S. attorney expects blockbuster FISA abuse report from the Department of Justice Inspector General. Former U.S. Attorney Guy Lewis predicted the Justice Department Inspector General's report on alleged Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act abuses will be hard-hitting, with multiple recommendations for prosecution. During an interview Monday on Fox News, Lewis said he used to work with Inspector General Michael Horowitz at the Justice Department and called him as tough as a nail. Lewis added, "He's tough, he's smart, and I think the report will be a blockbuster, blah, blah, blah." As to explain why he expects Horowitz's findings to make Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report on Russian interference in the 2016 election look like a 6th grade book report. Well, it kind of was, man. Really, because, the purpose of that report was supposed to be, whether you're going to charge somebody or not. And it really kind of, it fell flat. And I think the problem, good morning, Cynical Lindsay. The problem is there's so many problems with it. Lewis explained it's going to come out. It's going to be hard-hitting. Horowitz spent almost 2 years interviewing various people, witnesses, looking at what he describes as almost 1 million documents. And I think he's going to make recommendations regarding prosecution and turn this whole FISA, this Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, the submissions, I think he will turn them on their head. Let's just check out his interview real quick here.
On the Russia probe, Senator Graham says he hopes the 3 investigations currently underway will finally shed light on officials' actions during the probe into the Trump campaign. I want to bring in now Guy Lewis, former U.S. attorney.
I want to comment on what you just wrote there, Pete. He looked like a kid forced to give an oral report on a book report his mom wrote for him. Didn't he, though? He didn't know. Oh, it was crazy. He did not know what was in the report. He didn't know. One of the biggest things is, okay, so that he knew that someone was going to ask him about the Steele dossier, right? The dossier that's 90% uncorroborated. He had to know that someone was going to ask him about that question, right? And yet, he did not know. He seemed completely befuddled by a question about Fusion GPS, who is the company that was doing the opposition research that commissioned that report. He didn't know who Glenn Simpson was. Glenn Simpson, the owner of Fusion GPS. He seems just completely confused about everything that asked him. So he would say, I'll refer you to the report, because he didn't know what was in the report. That's the problem. He had no command whatsoever of what was in that report, which tells me he was not involved in writing it, nor did he even necessarily review it that closely. He was a figurehead, and a figurehead only. And I'm the problem that I have with that whole day of testimony is not one person asked him, sir, who wrote this report? Right? Nobody. So they need to, one, find out who wrote the report, and they need to, Dave, I feel your pain. Tired of hearing about it. Except some people need to go to jail. As far as if what's coming out is true, and this was they completely broke the law while they were trying to do this, then they need to go to jail. Okay. So anyway, where was I? You know what? I'm not going to listen to this. I'm going to skip this. Now, I don't necessarily, personally, I don't know that Horowitz's report is going to be as hard-hitting as some people like to be, although I do think there will be recommendation for prosecution. But the thing I do believe is that John Durham's investigation is going to be hard-hitting. Because the Inspector General really has no power other than to say, well, here's what happened, and, no. Plausible deniability, yeah. But I don't think that, I think they're going to have enough evidence to at least prosecute a few people. So anyway. There's great anticipation for the Inspector General report. And here's the things. Okay, so here's the one that, is this the one? I'm sorry here. I'm not as prepared today. Had a rough day yesterday. What we need to know from the Horowitz report. There's going to be much to learn in Inspector General Michael Horowitz's upcoming report on the Trump-Russia investigation, but most of it will likely boil down to just two questions. One, how much did the Obama Justice Department spy on the Trump campaign? And two, was it justified? Many Democrats would immediately protest the word spying, even though that's what it was. But the public already knows the FBI secured a warrant to wiretap low-level Trump advisor Carter Page a few months after the Page left the campaign. The public also knows the FBI used informant Stephen Halper to gather information on other Trump campaign figures. And the public knows the FBI sent an undercover agent who went by the alias Ozra Turk to London to tease the information out of another low-level Trump advisor, George Papadopoulos. Was that all? Was there more? Horowitz should give definitive answers. And what did the spying involved? Well, in such intelligent works, wiretaps are recorded, transcripts are made. The same could be true for person-to-person conversations between FBI informants and Trump campaign figures. In May, Trey Gowdy, the former Republican congressman who read deeply into the Trump-Russia materials when he was in the House, strongly implied the FBI had transcripts of informant communication. So, if they don't have a good reason to do that, if they don't have a legitimate reason to do that, is that any better than what happened in the Watergate case, where they broke into if you abuse the law, you break the law, somebody's got to pay for that. I got a feeling this is going to be I don't know, the things I'm reading. If is it going to be a huge scandal? I don't know. It should be. Here's
opinion piece by John Solomon. Behind the scenes.
10 classified Russian collusion revelations that could rock Washington this fall. First, so he gives a list of 10 things. I'll put this one in the chat if you all want to read it. But from the Hill, and John Solomon is he's one of the, I think he's the executive vice president of the Hill or whatever, and he has been all over this case. And I have a feeling that, well, he's probably has the best reporting on this. Whatever you think of the Hill, he's been just really just killing it. But here's some 10 things here are documents that have the greatest chance of rocking Washington if declassified. So he's talking about they said they're going to declassify some of the documents, and I got a feeling that William Barr, who has the power to declassify per the president, some of the things in the Inspector General report. So here's some things that he thinks that have the greatest chance of having impact if they are declassified. One, Christopher Steele's confidential human source reports at the FBI. These documents, known in the Bureau parlance as 1023 reports, show exactly what transpired each time Steele and his FBI handlers met in the summer and fall of 2016. Now remember, Steele was fired, so to speak, as an asset for the FBI, and so it's fascinating that they continued to be in contact with him. The big reveal could be the first evidence that the FBI shared sensitive information with Steele, such as the existence of the classified Crossfire Hurricane operation targeting the Trump campaign. It would be a huge discovery if the FBI fed Trump-Russia intel to Steele in the midst of the election, especially when his ultimate opposition research client was Hillary Clinton and the Democratic National Committee, because Hillary Clinton and Democrats paid for the opposition research. Also, the 53 House intel interviews. There's been a lot of the congressmen who did the interviews have said it's funny because you always look at who emphasizes certain things and who downplays certain things, based on what's happening. And the Democrats completely have downplayed the interviews, whereas the Republicans are like, you got to know what these interviews. We can't give this to you because they're classified right now. But you're gonna, if you heard what was in these interviews, this has made us so sure of what we're talking about, including the first evidence that a lawyer tied to the Democratic National Committee had Russian-related contacts in the CIA. How about that? Oh boy, Stephen Halper documents. It has been widely reported European-based American academic Stephen Halper and a young assistant, Ozra Turk, worked as FBI sources. Oh, but then they're out there chasing around George Papadopoulos. We know for sure that one or both had contact with targeted Trump aides like Carter Page and George Papadopoulos at the end of the election. Sources tell me there may be other documents showing Halper continued working his way to the top of the Trump transition and administration, eventually reaching senior advisors like Peter Navarro inside the White House in the summer 2017. So he was spying on the transition team. Also, the FBI email train. Key document identified Representative Nunes and his investigators. My sources say it will show exactly what concerns the FBI knew about and discussed with the DOJ about using Steele's dossier and other evidence to support a Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. Yeah, did they know? How much did they know was wrong? Because there were some blatantly obvious false things that happened or that were in the Steele dossier, particularly the Miami consulate that does not exist, and the dickhead who's in jail, the lawyer Michael Cohen, going to Prague, which Michael Cohen has never been to Prague, never on his own passport at least. Papadopoulos and Page exculpatory statements. Another of Nunes's 5 buckets. These documents reports show that the two Trump aides were recorded telling undercover assets or captured in intercepts insisting on their innocence. So if they have recordings of these people that has statements that Page or Papadopoulos made that clearly state that they weren't involved in what they're being told to be involved in, and there you go. And they didn't tell the FISA court that. That's exculpatory statements that they hid from the FISA court while they were trying to obtain the warrants. So anyway, Gang of 8 briefing materials, Steele spreadsheet. The FBI had a spreadsheet. This is hilarious. It showed that 90% of the claims in the dossier could not be corroborated, or were debunked or turned out to be open source internet rumors. Given Steele's own effort to leak intel in his dossier to the media before election day, because Steele was leaking this to the USA Today and Yahoo News. And so then when they went to go have the FISA court, they go to the FISA court and said, well, we have this dossier and there's reporting about it in these two media outlets. So that gives it some credibility. Well, the person who wrote the damn thing is the one who leaked it to the media outlets. Well, the FBI had a spreadsheet that said that at least 90% of it was not corroborated or completely false or just rumor. If they didn't provide that to the FISA court, if they brought this document, whether it was only a part of the reason the FISA court approved the warrants, even if it's only part of the reason, you're still presenting them with a document that's 90% bullshit. And then the Steele interview. They've interviewed Steele many times, and Christopher Steele has continued to interview, and I think he's trying to cover his ass. But it has been reported and confirmed that the DOJ Inspector General interviewed the former British intelligence operative for as long as 16 hours about his contacts with the FBI while working with Clinton opposition research firm Fusion GPS. It is clear from the documents already forced into public view by lawsuits that Steele admitted in the fall of 2016 that he was desperate to defeat Trump and a political deadline to make his dirt public, was working for the DNC Clinton campaign, and was leaking to the news media. So that would be devastating if those interviews would become declassified. That would be devastating because that's the shit that the Democrats do not want to hear. And then they have some redacted sections and record of allies' assistance. Oh yeah, especially the allies' assistance. British, Australian, Italian intelligence were asked to assist FBI efforts to check on Trump connections to Russia. Members of Congress have searched recently for some key contact documents of British intelligence, and these documents might help explain Attorney General William Barr's recent comments that the use of foreign intelligence capabilities and counterintelligence capabilities against an American political campaign to me is unprecedented, and it's a serious red line that's been crossed. So yeah, if they're using if the Biden administration was pulling out all the stops to check on Trump's campaign, I don't know what they were so nervous about. Everyone thought Hillary was going to win, you know. So I wonder if some of this stuff, you know, now granted, imagine, would we know anything about this at all if Hillary Clinton had won? I mean, would we be finding out about any of this stuff? It's hard to say. But they were corrupt, it seems, allegedly, that they are corrupt as fuck. All right, enough about this. How are you guys doing today? Anyone having? How's everyone doing? Just a quick reminder, as always, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, my friends who watch the Morning Night Live or listen to us in the background while you're at work or driving. We are here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT. If you can, please, down here, that's where that share button is. Whenever you can, if you can share that. We also put everything out on Twitter. We did get it out on Twitter today. Looks like a couple people helped out. Thank you. Thank you, Nextsaw, for retweeting my tweet this morning. I appreciate that. And Nextsaw actually tweeted it out, my show out 3 hours before it started, so that was kind of cool. If you're ever wondering on Twitter, down here, my Twitter handles at Dawg Knight and Instagram at YesThatMarty. Also, hit the like while you're thinking about it, because I just mentioned it. Now you're thinking about it, right? You're thinking about it. It's in your mind. Click that like button. And if you want to make sure I say something or get a question answered, Super Chat's in the Streamlabs link down below. All right, moving on. What was the other thing? I pulled up a couple other things today. I didn't do as much as I normally do. Oh, an appeals court in this some of this immigration stuff. Another win for Trump. Appeals court sides with the administration on asylum rights. So I'll just get right into the story. Federal appeals court sided with the Trump administration on Friday in the legal battle over its efforts to limit asylum claims from Central America, blocking for now a nationwide injunction that blocked the implementation of the rule. Last month, a California federal judge blocked the rule that would require migrants to first apply in one of the countries they cross on their way to the U.S., with certain exceptions. The rule is tailored to target Central Americans from the Northern Triangle of Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras, who would travel across multiple countries, including Mexico, before claiming asylum in the U.S. But the San Francisco Appeals Court for the Ninth Circuit on Friday ruled that the injunction imposed by the California federal judge can only apply in states within the court's jurisdiction in the western U.S. The ruling says that the court failed to discuss why a nationwide injunction was necessary to remedy the harm alleged by those immigration advocacy groups named in the lawsuit. So the Western District, I think it still covers California and Arizona, but I don't think it goes. I think New Mexico and Texas are in a different district, maybe. So it is kind of a win, although, and the fact that this is a California, someone from the Ninth Circuit, I'm surprised they kind of side with Trump. But anyway, the district court clearly erred it by failing to consider whether nationwide relief is necessary to remedy the plaintiff's alleged harms, the ruling says. And based on the limited record before us, we do not believe a nationwide injunction is justified. So, what the Trump administration was doing, they say, you know what, you can't just come, start in El Salvador and walk through 3 countries and then try to claim asylum here, especially since Mexico is offering asylum to many of the refugees. Mexico is trying to give the United States relief because, well, first of all, only about 20% of the asylum claims are being granted because most of them are BS anyway. It's a game. Lawyers from the U.S. go down and tell them, okay, here's what you need to do if you want to stay. Okay, you're going to have, and also the people telling them to come here in the first place. Okay, you're better off if you have a kid with you because they'll release you within 3 days, because that's the law, and then you can just go with that kid. Well, they're coming with kids that aren't even their own to try to break the law, and then also it's like, well, if you say you're seeking asylum and you say you had this condition, this condition, this condition, and this condition, you're more likely to be able to stay. Well, they're finding that 80% of those claims are bullshit and don't even are not even allowed under the asylum laws. International law, asylum laws are usually persecution by a government or, war or things like that. This is not, there's no such thing as, we want to come to the USA because we want to have, we want to make more money. No, that's the you go for that just because you want to have a better economic situation. You go through the normal immigration process. Okay. That's not an asylum claim. You go through the normal immigration process. There's the line over there. All right. So, we've been talking a lot. Let's move on. A lot of news about our favorite politicians in Congress, Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, talking about the trip to Palestine. Well, here's an interesting. Now, this is from the 18th. Anyway, I'll pull this up too, because the paradise that is Palestine now is banning LGBT activities in the West Bank. Oh, yes, they're so, everyone's the beauty of Palestine. The Palestinian Authority is banning all LGBT members from activities in the West Bank. What do you mean activities? Like they can't play shuffleboard or, dominoes? What are you talking about? Anyway, the ban comes after the group Al-Quds for Sexual and Gender Diversity in Palestinian Society. Oh, that I'm sure that goes over well. Which supports Palestinians who identify as part of the gay community, was planning to hold a gathering for its members at the end of August, but won't be able to anymore. Their event was supposed to be held in Nablus. Louis Zraikat, spokesman for the Palestinian Authority of Police, told the Jerusalem Post that the activities from the organization are harmful to the higher values and ideals of Palestinian society. He claimed the group's activities were completely unrelated to religions and Palestinian traditions and customs, especially in the city of Nablus, and that dubious parties were working to create discord and harm civic peace in Palestinian societies. So dubious parties working to create discord. Let me think. I know what's going on here. I know exactly what's going on here. It's the Russians. Because the Russians are really good at sowing discord, right? Zraikat also warned that they will arrest anyone caught in violation of the law, and urged Palestinians to report any violation of the law they witness. If you see the gays, report it. The Palestinian police announcement about our activities is very unfortunate, the group stated in response to the new law. It's very strange that they are accusing us of being a suspicious entity working to take part in Palestinian society. I wonder what does Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib think about that? Their love for their homeland, or well, not Omar, because she's from Somalia. Tlaib's an American citizen, born here and raised here, but her grandmother, who she was just dying to see her grandma, and then they granted her access to go see her grandma, and then she said, "Nope, I'm not. This is a political ploy." She didn't say that, but that's what it turned out to be. So there. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. I've got a few more headlines. Let me pull one up here. Let's see. How about... Oh, by the way, Kamala Harris is diving in the Democratic primary polls. I think... I believe that Tulsi Gabbard just cut her off at the knees with that debate performance. And I don't know if she's going to recover from that. I think people are... I don't know. Let's see here. If you're wondering what's happening in the Democratic Party, poll. Boat Shoes Buttigieg and Kamala 5-0 no longer top tier candidates. Mayor Pete Boatshoes. Why do they call him Boat Shoes? Buttigieg and Senator Kamala 5-0, because she used to be a prosecutor, Harris were once considered top-tier contenders in the 2020 Democratic primary. A new poll found from CNN suggests that is no longer the case. Buttigieg and Harris are mired in a fourth place at 5%, well behind the emergency top-tier candidates. Joe Biden remains a frontrunner with 29%. Joe Biden, Mr. Gaffmaster himself, the Gaffmaster General, has been awesome so far this election season. I can't wait to hear more. And Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are neck and neck with 15% and 14% respectively. The poll is especially bad news for Harris, whose support has plummeted 12 percentage points since late June. So there you got Sanders at 29, Biden 29, Sanders 15, up 1, up Sanders, Biden up 7. Oh my gosh, I'm envisioning a Trump-Sanders race. Because, I mean, Trump's just full of the one-liners and the nicknames. And Biden, honestly, Biden can be very biting in his rhetoric. But he also just is, it's going to be, who's going to say more stupid shit? I can't. Oh my goodness. Harris and Buttigieg are both at 5%. O'Rourke is at 3%. Meanwhile, failed Senate candidate Beto O'Rourke remains irrelevant despite his best efforts to rebrand himself as the candidate who is most offended by racism. Yeah, he's working that. He's working that racism thing so hard that no one's gonna hear that anymore. You're never gonna. I mean, obviously they've been changed racist to white supremacist and white nationalists, but is that all they got? Holy shit. Castro 2%, Booker 2%, Gabbard 2%. Oh, Gabbard's at least back up to 2%. So she may make the debate stage at this rate because I know she has the what do you call them? The donor. She has enough donors to be in the debate. I don't know. I just don't know. I actually think. I don't think Bernie right now. The Democrats, as much as hard it is sometimes to understand what the president is doing, I still don't see a Democratic candidate that can have any great impact, especially the way the Democrats are split. Now, are they going to rally behind someone like they kind of did with Hillary? Are they? Because right now the top candidates, all the candidates, they're so different, and they're so married to a certain faction of the Democratic Party. And you say that, you would think that intersectionality would save the day for the Democrats, but it's just not going to. The progressives don't like the corporate establishment Democrats. The corporate established Democrats don't like the progressives. And the ones who are trying to straddle that fence, like Kamala Harris, well, she keeps fucking up too. So, you know what? Good luck, Democrats. Good luck. Now, if you watch most polls, which I don't care about the polls don't mean anything because, good morning, Functional. The polls really don't mean anything because until there's actually the election, then I don't care what the polls say. Because right now the polls say, the one poll says all top 3 Democratic candidates would beat Trump, and there's another poll that says Trump would beat all 3 top Democratic candidates. It doesn't really matter right now. It's August 21st, 2019, and the election is not till November, 2020. We're more than a year away. So many things can happen. Actually, here's a question I have for you in the chat, because none of these candidates, I mean, Joe Biden falls asleep in the middle of a speech practically, and then he says something really stupid. Let me ask you this. And I only have a few people here today. It looks like I got 17 of you here. Out of you 17 people, if you're able to put some in the chat, type this in. I'm going to give you 3 choices. When does Hillary Clinton throw her hat in the race? Okay. You can either put not at all, by the end of the year, or by November of this year, or by January 2020. Not at all November or January. I think she's going to attempt to put herself in the race. The only caveat I have on that is if this Jeffrey Epstein case, if Bill Clinton's name comes up in one of those documents, because it hasn't yet. George Mitchell's name has, Bill Richards' name has, Prince Harry's name has, but, and I'm just talking in an official document related to the Epstein case. Okay, I think she's going to get into the race if that does not happen. Now, the problem is, with 26 confirmed flights on Jeffrey Epstein's airplane, including 6 on the Lolita Express, including at least 4 trips to Jeffrey Epstein's island that we know of, Bill Clinton's such a huge liability for Hillary Clinton. I think there is a chance that she might, if she had divorced Bill Clinton 10 years ago, she might be president right now. I think he's that big of a drag to her campaign. And because you know what? He should be the poster boy for the Me Too movement. Okay, right? Him and what's the dude? Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein, is that his name? Weinstein, Epstein, Clinton. Okay, they should be the poster boys for the Me Too movement. But had she divorced him, I think because now all you got to do is bring up Me Too. You cannot say diddly about anything that Trump has done, Stormy Daniels and all the whatever models he's been with, or whatever. You can't say shit about him when you still have Bill Clinton being a praised and honored elder in the Democratic Party. You just can't, because Bill Clinton's a dog. You know, he's a dog, and the brothers in the hood love Bill Clinton because he's a dog. Oh man, I don't know. I just can't see it. Oh, here we go. Portland mayor, new article. Whoops, where'd it go? Portland. Oh, so we had all this shit going on in Portland on Saturday, and the Portland mayor decides to tweet out a lovely picture of he and his wife, right? Oh, Prince Andrew. I'm sorry, I did it again. Prince Andrew, not Prince Harry. I keep doing that. Anyway, resigned. Portland mayor blasted for oblivious photo of he and his wife. Hours after traffic blocking, violent rioting, and a dozen arrests in Portland, Oregon, the city's mayor posted a photo of himself and his wife strolling peacefully into a market hand in hand, using the caption, "Sundays in Portland." Oh, look at that cute photo. Such lovely. Mayor Ted Wheeler, folks. Mayor Ted Wheeler. Saturdays in Portland, however, Saturdays in Portland, however, are a lot different. The day before the Mayor Ted Wheeler's post, Antifa activists targeted journalists and went after protesters, some of whom were members of the right-wing Proud Boys. Below is some of the ugly footage posted by journalists. You've seen it all. I'm not going to show you any of that. But just the fact that he posts out this picture the day after Sundays in Portland. How dreamy. How dreamy. What else we got? I'm going to do one more, and then we'll get into Twitter trends, and then we're going to get out of here. I'm going to try very hard not to go over my time limit today. Let's see. Already did that. Oh, we were talking about... I was talking about that recession thing. People want to talk about recession. That's the wrong article. Never mind. Let's go here. Oh my gosh. Alyssa Milano says her life would be completely lacking if not for her 2 abortions. Well, okay. Good for her. I'm not going to get into that. Oh, but this is interesting though. But Planned Parenthood decides that they're going to take, here, hang on, let me throw this over here. Planned Parenthood shows its true colors, chooses abortion over federal health care dollars. So this is interesting. Now, I'm a person who I'm not 100% anti-abortion. I think I think that should be legal up to a certain point, and that would be viability. But I still think I don't have a problem with it. But this is interesting. Planned Parenthood decided that abortion is more important than millions of federal taxpayer dollars. The country's largest abortion provider announced late Monday that it is formally withdrawing from federal Title X family planning program due to a regulation from the Trump administration that would have required it to separate its abortion businesses from other healthcare services to keep getting funds. Now, Planned Parenthood likes to talk up of how they provide many services. So it's interesting because the problem is a vast majority of their revenue comes from that procedure. Today, this is conservative review. Today, Planned Parenthood showed its true colors by prioritizing abortion over family planning, refusing to comply with the Protect Life rule, and dropping out of the Title X program. Reads a statement from pro-life SBA list president Marjorie Dannenfelser. President Trump's Title X Protect Life rule is a huge victory for the majority of taxpayers who reject taxpayer funding of abortion. So today's announcement is a win for life, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, so Planned Parenthood decided to drop out of that program. So I just thought that was interesting that they don't want to have to separate the two businesses in order to, or their other business in order to comply with that rule. It'll be interesting. I don't know. That rule is probably going to be just like everything else. It'll get challenged in court, so it'll be interesting how that goes on. All right, let's get into Twitter today, see what's going on in the world, find out what's happening and what people are going to be talking about for the rest of the day. See, there's functional. That's kind of where I'm at too. I'm fine. I think abortion should be legal. I don't think federal funding. I struggle with the federal funding part of it, and also I struggle with getting into when a child is viable. I mean, to say it's not a human being. I don't know. Twitter trends today. This is interesting. King of Israel. Apparently, it's okay. So guess what? This is something Trump said, because something Trump says trends every single day. President Trump quoted radio host Wayne Allen Root, referring to him as the King of Israel. So Trump didn't say it, but he. Okay, here's the thread. Here's what Trump said. Thank you to Wayne Allen Root for the very nice words. President Trump is the greatest president for Jews and for Israel in the history of the world, not just America. He is the best president for Israel in the history of the world, and the Jewish-speaking people in Israel love him like he's the King of Israel. You know what? I think I got a feeling that the president's trolling here. He's kind of... Anyway, they love him like he's the second coming of God. God. But American Jews don't know him or like him. They don't even know what they're doing or saying anymore. Makes no sense, but that's okay. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he's good for all Jews, blacks, gays, everyone. And importantly, he's good for everyone in America who wants a job. Wow, he says. So he's quoting Wayne Allen Root. Oh, good Lord. So a lot of people are just going to drag him now. And it's funny because he he quotes way down the route, and people are going after him. Lots of people. Let's see. Dear God, now he says he's king. Get the friggin' hook and remove his crazy butt now. Well, anyone who compares you to God is batshit crazy. Yes, that is true. Couldn't you just be a normal loony and claim to be Napoleon or the Queen of England? Oh, you guys, he's not claiming to be that. Oh my God. Anyway, it's just one of those Trumpisms that is going to gets attention. Guess what? How many people are saying Donald Trump's name today? Everybody. All right, let's move on. Number 2 on the trends today. 2 and 3 are Wednesday things. Wednesday wisdom, Wednesday thoughts. Wednesday wisdom or Wednesday thoughts? Let's go with Wednesday wisdom. I'd prefer wisdom today. Hopefully this will be wise. Oh, make it a double. This is cute. Check it out. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry. There you go. If you're wondering what that noise was. I just thought, I didn't realize that I didn't change the screen over. And so I'm sure you're wondering, what the hell was he putting on the screen that wasn't on the screen yet? Yeah, there's a couple wolves howling. It's kind of cute. Alright, so yeah, that's cute. Let's find some wisdom, though. I want some wisdom. Let's see. I've been seeing this handsome chap on my morning runs. Started off with him running off the minute he heard me, then moved to trotting off to a safe distance. Now he just gives me a dirty look. I think in a month, we could be best friends forever. Looks like a deer over there. Okay, someone's got it. I need some Wednesday wisdom. I need some Wednesday wisdom, though. Something wise. Those are some nice photos. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other until you get where you need to be. Okay, that's some Wednesday wisdom from Snuffleupagus. Now, if you don't know who Snuffleupagus is, you've never been a child. They introduced Snuffleupagus about the 3rd year of Sesame Street, I think, which would have been like 1972, because I was still kind of young enough to watch Sesame Street at that time. And I remember them adding Snuffy. It was great. That was a great thing. Snuffleupagus. What a great character. All right, let's get on. DW. Oh, Dancing with the Stars. The new Dancing with the Stars is going to come out, and guess who's going to be on it but Sean Spicer. Yeah. Sean Spicer, Karamo Brown. I have no idea who that is. Hannah Brown, no idea. James Van Der Beek and Ray Lewis. Okay. Ray Lewis, I know who that is, and I know who Sean Spicer is. I've heard the name James Van Der Beek. Let's click here. The cast has been revealed for the upcoming season of Dancing with the Stars and includes former White House press secretary Sean Spicer, Queer Eye star Karamo Brown. Oh, that's who that is. Okay, I know who that is. Queer Eye for the State guy. Former Bachelorette Hannah Brown, actor James Van Der Beek, and NFL legend Ray Lewis. Oh my gosh, my nephew is a huge Baltimore Ravens fan. I'm always impressed too when they put one of these, when they put the, like the former NFL players on Dancing with the Stars, because athletes, they're athletes, and dancing is an athletic activity to some extent. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if, Dawson's Creek, that's right. I would not be surprised if Ray Lewis would be really good at this. Who do they got? So Karamo Brown, TV host, okay, for Queer Eye. We got Ray Lewis, former NFL star. Who's this? Kel Mitchell. Oh my gosh. Is that, is Kel Mitchell, is that from, what's something burger? What's that with Kevin and Cal? Is that who that is? Kel Mitchell, the comedian? I wonder. Christy Brinkley. All right, cool. Model actress. Former wife of Billy Joel. Lamar Odom, the basketball star. Oh. Allie Brooke from, I don't know, Lips Don't Lie. I don't know what that means. Kate Flannery, former TV drunk, actor, singer, comedy duo, The Lampshades. Lauren Alaina, don't know who she is. Hannah Brown, she's from The Bachelorette. And M. Wilson Supreme. Oh, Mary Wilson. Oh, Mary Wilson from The Supremes. Holy smokes, is she still around? Good Burger, thank you. Good Burger. Yeah, Kevin and Kel. Kevin's, he's on Saturday Night Live now, and Kel kind of fell by the wayside. Yeah, I think that's the dude from Good Burger. And Mary Wilson, one of the original Supremes. Okay. I'm trying to figure out who the comedian is. Anyway, all right, so that's Dancing with the Stars. If you're into that, hey, you're into it. But Sean Spicer's on it, so they're going to get a lot of hate. They'll get max hate. I'm just saying. Oh, and then these people are mad. This is what I wanted to see, though, because I saw that Sean Spicer's on it. So there's going to be some hate on the Dancing with the Stars list. Okay, so already people, no, baby, no. Unless this is a joke and it's really Melissa McCarthy, fuck off. Oh my gosh, they're going to be pissed because Sean Spicer's on it. Let's see, there's James Van Der Beek, or whatever they call him. Meredith from The Office going on. Oh, Meredith. That's who's going on Dancing with the Stars. She just says Meredith is the one comedian. Oh my gosh. And then say, Dancing with the Stars has a long-standing tradition of giving terrible people a platform. Hey, bonehead. They already have a platform. Oh, now I have to watch. Now here's someone who's happy. Now I have to watch Dancing with the Stars for the first time in years. Some people are happy. Don't know why. Oh, former propagandist Sean Spicer, who defended the white supremacist racist in the White House, who incited domestic terrorists to massacre 22 people. You know what, Cynthia? Fuck right off, okay? Just fuck right off, okay? And I'm not even a Trump person, but just fuck right off with that shit. Oh my God. Yeah, there'll be people pissed off. Sean Spicer, you will be the first person voted off Dancing with the Stars. Of course he will, because, there's a lot of hate in the world. Sean Spicer on the celebrity TV show Everything Wrong with America. A nation of idiots will sit there and watch this disgrace and think it's just fine. Shame on Dancing ABC, and fuck you for contributing to the madness. Okay, so lots of people pissed off. I don't care. What else is... Oh, what happened here? Sorry, let's go back here. Dance with the Stars trending. Save Spidey. People are pissed off because Spider-Man may be leaving the MCU. They're having a problem with the... what are they having? Some reason they're... I haven't followed closer, but they're... Disney, stop being greedy. You already own half the world at this point. Sony, don't be a dick, for fuck's sake. Yeah, Sony is taking Spider-Man back from Disney. Oh my gosh. I got a feeling that this would be a good time to just abandon the MCU movies anyway, because they're kind of going they're going in a direction that probably tells you that they have not any good ideas. Let's just put it that way. All right, after that, after Spidey and Dance with the Stars, what else here? We got NBA 2K20 demo is out. Okay, so that's great. I'm not going to talk about that. Rip Reese. Rest in peace, Reese? Reese who? What? Uh-oh. What happened? Who's Reese? Homophobic people are so weird. Imagine caring so much about who someone loves. Rest in peace, Reese? When you say Black Lives Matter, but you really mean cisgendered, heterosexual, God-fearing Black lives, who is... Now I gotta find out who Reese is. Y'all will shame the man into killing himself because of who he openly loves, but never say anything about your homeboys who are rapists, abusers, etc. Rest in peace, Reese? Who the hell is Reese? I don't know who Reese is. Anyone know who Reese is? Anyone who harasses someone for loving whoever they want should be stripped of basic human rights, since they can't seem to mind their own fucking business and feel like they have to make... Okay. Oh, is this the guy? Now, let's see. So what happened to this guy? I saw something about this. Oh, okay. So this dude killed himself. So this dude, okay, he started dating a trans woman and got so much shit from his friends that this dude killed himself. Now, you know, wow. When a man is confident, secure enough to openly love a trans woman, this is the bullying and harassment he gets. When trans-attracted men kill us, it's out of fear that this will happen to them if they are outed. Reese didn't kill his girlfriend. He killed himself instead. Okay, that's... You know what? You know, yeah, so... You got to understand, and I'm not saying this, it's terrible that this guy killed himself. Don't even, if you're watching this and you don't normally watch a show and you happen upon this, don't even think, I think it's okay that this guy killed himself. The homophobia in the black community is strong. And so, you know, enough said. I'm not even going to continue with that. That's just the way it is. But anyway, I'm not Reese. I never understand. I cannot relate to the idea of dating a trans woman just because I can't. I'm happily married anyway. You know, but I just don't understand it. But if that's his thing, then that's his thing. I don't care. Okay. If you know, I don't think you should shit on someone else's happiness, especially if it ain't none of your business. That's the bottom line, and it's unfortunate that this guy committed suicide because of all the shit he was getting. So that's who Reese is. I don't know his full name. I'm not gonna get into that anymore. Braxton Miller's trending. Braxton Miller, wide receiver Braxton Miller signs with the Browns in Ohio turn. Okay, if you're into football, that's important to you. Antichrist. Oh God. That's in reference to Trump, some king of Israel shit. One thing that gets me about evangelical support for Trump is that according to their eschatology and interpretation of Revelations, he is about as close to a literal example of the Antichrist as you can get. By the rules of their own theology, they are an anathema. So they're calling Trump the Antichrist. Good. Oh, Bishop Talbert Swan. He's a joy to be around. Calling a black POTUS married to 25 years to one wife with 2 children, no mistresses, affairs or scandals, the Antichrist, but a racist white POTUS married thrice, 5 kids by 3 women, mistresses, affairs and scandals. God's anointed proves your religion is white supremacy in a mask. Okay, Bishop Swan, you fake ass bishop. I've agreed with Bishop Swan though once this month. I can't remember what it was on. I actually agreed with him on something. My bit at first. Who said the Antichrist? Who said Obama was the Antichrist? What? Is that why this? Oh. Okay. Okay, so the word Antichrist is trending today. Yippee, you can look that one up yourself. I'm done with that. Messiah, nope, not doing it. Sister Jean. Oh, Sister Jean's 100. You know who Sister Jean is? Sister Jean, Loyola's Sister Jean celebrates 100th birthday with her own Lego statue. Look at that. That is so cool. So when the Loyola Chicago, from Chicago, the basketball team that made it to Final Four, this is Sister Jean, one of the most prominent fans of Loyola Chicago. She turned 100 years old, and they made a Lego statue of her. That is just the cutest damn thing. If you're not familiar with Sister Jean, look her up. It's kind of a cool story. She was at every game when they were in the NCAA tournament. Was it last year or the year before? It was the year before, but yeah. So happy birthday, Sister Jean. Good for her. All right, and lots of people wishing her happy birthday today. I am sure she's a national treasure. I'm just saying. And let's see. Oh, well, this is all messed up now because now Cindy McCain's trending. Cindy McCain's asked America to engage in acts of civility to mark the first anniversary of her husband's death. Good for her. Cindy McCain, my husband was a man of civility. No. Oh. I don't want to disrespect John McCain, but John McCain didn't know a war he didn't like. I think something else is going to come out in this whole thing with the Russia shit and the Steele dossier, whatever. John McCain was one of those hating Trump guys. John McCain was involved with that whole Steele dossier and bringing it to the FBI, and it's going to be the one thing that people are going to say, oh, well, it wasn't just Democrats. John McCain did it too. Well, John McCain was not a Republican. He's a Republican in name only. I'm not going to call him a rhino Republican, but he is. But John McCain worked for John McCain. He didn't work for the American people. And, oh, man. Yeah, I appreciate Cindy McCain's sentiment to do something kind today. But, man, in memory of John McCain... Yeah. All right. Anyway, Spawn, number 12, the Joker and Terminator confirmed for Mortal Kombat 11. Okay. Hump Day! All right, it's Hump Day, and I can't put Hump Day on the screen ever because you never know what that first Hump Day thing's going to be. I'm going to click it without it being on the screen just to test the waters. And yes, the very first is someone's naked ass. So if you want to look at the Hump Day hashtag, you can look at that yourself today. Rick Perry's trending. Former Governor Rick Perry. Oh, no. Rick Perry, former governor of Texas, is trending on Instagram because, let's see, the man in charge of nuclear weapons fell for an Instagram hoax. Oh boy. I'd like to introduce you to a Nigerian prince. Read from one comment from an Instagram user mocking the energy secretary for being gullible. So he's the energy secretary. He's not in charge of nuclear weapons, you morons. Okay, so Secretary Rick Perry, the man tasked with overseeing America's vast nuclear arsenal. No, what? Oh, maybe they do in the Department of Energy. I don't know. In his capacity as head of the Department of Energy, fell victim to a hoax on Instagram Tuesday in what is essentially the Instagram version of forwarding a chain email. The former Texas governor, 69, reposted a screenshot of a message falsely claiming the social media giant was changing its privacy policy, would make public all users' posts, including deleted messages. It also suggested the company could somehow use your photos. The message also falsely claimed that any Instagram user who objected to the change could repost the message in order to stop the company. And so he reposted it. Okay, so whatever. You know who else fell for an internet hoax? John Podesta. Oh, I didn't put this on the screen. John Podesta also fell for an internet hoax, and that's how people got into his email, which his password was password. Yeah, so Okay, so an Instagram hoax, at least it's not on an unsecured private server, right? Person who I'm failing to name right now. Yeah, worst things in the world. Rick Perry. Okay, he got one. Dance with the Stars still turning disloyal to Trump. Oh, jeez. Oh, you know, the Amazon rainforest on fire. This is terrible, and I'm surprised that I'm not hearing more about this. The Amazon rainforest provides 20% of the world's oxygen. People are deliberately starting fires in an effort to illegally deforest land for cattle ranching. President Bolsonaro is letting this slide. Is he letting it slide? I guess I need to find out. But a large portion of the rainforest is on fire. Yeah, right. There you go, Pete. Falling for an internet host is better than a 3-year Russian conspiracy hoax. Tell me about that, man. Ding, you get a bell for that, buddy. That's a way to go. So anyway, Toxo Woman, these assholes came in and burned down our reservation. I want all of the media to come here and see this. Yeah, they're setting fires and clearing land for farmland. I really hope Bolsonaro does something about it. Here it is. The Amazon rainforest has been burning for almost 3 weeks now. Because of lack of media coverage, it's only now that the world is taking notice. The rainforest provides 20% of the Earth's oxygen, praying this tragedy would be over soon. Well, yeah, that's... They need to do something about it. I don't know. It shocks me that there has been no coverage of this. So it makes you wonder why. Normally this would be front and center. So I really hope that they are able to take care of these fires and whatnot. All right, so that's got to be it for today. I know I'm a little somewhat disjointed, melancholy, whatever you would call it today. I apologize for that. If you're in the prayer type, say a prayer for my family and especially Lady Boomer. It's been a rough day yesterday, and we've got just a couple more, and then we're gonna figure it all out. So I hope y'all have a great day. I really appreciate all of you here. I appreciate the good wishes I've been getting on Twitter and in some other locations. Some of you have been very kind, and so thank you for coming. You know that we're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT, for those people in the other parts of the world who use GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, to figure out when things are happening in the United States. Also, if you haven't already done so, right down here, there's a button that says like. There's also a button that says share. If you're watching this not live, but you are just watching it because you're catching up on what the day's happenings, please make sure you hit the share button, send that out. And then also, anytime we do the show, we don't have super chats via YouTube, so we use the Streamlabs super chat function in the link down below. We also do donations through that link. So thank you for those of you who've done that in the past. You've been very generous, and I can't thank you enough. That's it for today on August 21st, 2019. My name is Dawg Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Have a lovely day. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and I want to thank you for joining me today on the Dawg Knight channel. Before you go, if you like what you saw and you're not already subscribed, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below, and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and 2 p.m. GMT. A special thanks to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through our Streamlabs link in the description below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.